Please welcome Mitch Cleary.
Bit of humour. He's had it
Yes.
all. Bulletproof vest. You've got it all going on.
Well,
You've survived.
As far as I can understand, Clarry never went to the States. He went to Sydney, met with the Giants twice.
So you're calling him a liar. Careful.
Your words, not mine.
I should know better as well.
But I got you at Sydney Airport.
Yes.
But Clarry, a third-round pick, and the D's pay a stack of that salary. So 1.4 million essentially he's on next year. The D's will pay around half of that, and the Giants pick up the rest of the tab.
What about our boy? Straight down to business.
700,000.
No pleasantries,
No.
just straight into
The
it.
D's, 700,000 for 5 years.
Could
Yep.
be one of the
3.5
all-time.
million they
Yep,
pay.
in that ballpark.
Well, he's probably nearly winning a premiership up there.
Could be an all-time great trade for the GWS Giants.
Yep.
What
And-
they've got, the calibre of player, if he's at his best, and a lot of people saying he's past it, I don't believe so. He gets anywhere close to that, look out.
And he's on a revenge mission, I think, next
Yeah.
year. He wants to play with Finn Callahan, Tom Green. The other one is Josh Kelly's going to miss a large chunk of next year with that hip surgery, the Andy Murray-style hip surgery. So if Clarry can get back to anywhere near his best, watch out. He's going to go up there, live under the radar a little bit. He'll love it.
So there's storylines out of this trade period,
Everywhere.
Bill. Awesome. So there's one. There's Clarry and what he does up there at the Giants. The other one, of course, the biggest one, it didn't get done. Zach Merrett wandering tail between, I don't even know, can you put your tail further between your legs? How far back can it go? Because I'm not even sure how you rock up to day one of preseason.
Yeah.
When is day one of you? You would know.
Well, I'm meant to be on holidays, but I might come back off my
Yes.
holidays to get there because that is going to be must-watch to see how he interacts with those Essendon players who a number of them have spoken out and how disappointed they were when they found out that Merritt had met with Sam Mitchell. And I'm told, speaking to multiple people around this today, that Zack Merritt is a shattered man on this day today because he had his heart set on Hawthorn. He told Essendon that on multiple occasions. He met with the coach, the CEO, and the list manager on Monday.
So he's devastated with what the Bombers have done to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Merritt camp is more frustrated with Essendon than they are frustrated with Hawthorn because Essendon wanted 4 first-round picks. Hawthorn said, we're going to 3. We're not going to sell our entire future.
Yeah.
We're only going to 3. Essendon said, nah, you're staying and you've got 2 years left on your contract and we're going to see you day one of pre-season.
So they're very shitty with each other, aren't they? Both teams.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of mending, I think, this one.
It'll
Because,
be, when's round one? When do they play? That's what we've got to look at too.
well, we need to get on the phone to the Channel 7 bosses. We need a big prime-time Hawthorn-Essendon game.
Might be round one.
I'll make the call.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
You had a good theory, Days. I like this for Zach Merrett.
Yeah, well, the only way you can address it is rock up day one and everyone's in a Hawthorn top.
Scotty comes out.
Yeah, but I'm not sure Zach would appreciate the humour, has that sort of humour, nor do everyone else in the modern world we live in. It's going to be so awkward.
yeah, and Matt Rose, the list manager of Essendon, said as much last night. It is going to be awkward on day one. But what we know about Zack Merrett, he's a professional and he's going to wear his Essendon jumper next year with distinction, although his heart would love to be down the road.
So
at
what
Dingley.
happens this time next year?
I think they'll come again.
So why wouldn't you say, and
that's the debate today, isn't it?
so the new president's come in, Andrew Welsh,
Yeah, Welsh,
and he's put the flag in the ground, said this won't be happening.
Yeah, and I think he came out when his first interviews with us on 7 and said there is no way we are trading Zack Merrett. He's going to be with us on day one of pre-season, and there's no way as a new president you can backflip on that. So he's
But
stuck
I reckon
to his
there
guns.
is. I reckon
Yeah.
the easiest sell of all time is you do that, you put your flag in the ground, you get the deal, and you go, all right, well, the sell is now, players have spoken to me, I've spoken to the playing group. We can't have him back. It's just got too far down the road. It is too messy now. We have to do what's best for the football club. Yes, I'll wear the fact that I said this and I'm going to have to renege on it. But for the betterment of the football club, which I think the deal would have been better if they did it,
Yeah.
is this.
And Hawthorn's last offer of 3 first-round picks would have been one of the biggest in footy history, full stop. And Essendon, you would argue, need those picks
Bloody oath they do.
Of course they
more
do.
than they do a
Of course
30-year-old
they do.
Zack Merrett. In saying that, you look at the Brett Delidio example. He left Richmond to the Giants, and then Richmond won
the
a couple of
premiership.
flags. So there is swings and roundabouts. You'd argue that Richmond were a bit further down the path than what Essendon are at the time, but they were missing finals back in 2016 before they won it in 2017.
A couple that didn't get done also. Archie.
Yeah, that's
I
an
thought
interesting
that
one.
was on, but which one's cranky with who? Which club? Because I'm hearing that Brisbane very cranky with Adelaide.
Yeah, and Adelaide's cranky with Brisbane, but at the end of the day, the Crows will get
So they should have got it done.
the Crows will get him through the preseason draft for nothing. So Brisbane have given up essentially a second-round pick they won't get now. But Brisbane, a bit like Andrew Welsh at Essendon, they put their flag in the ground and said, that's what he's worth and that's what we're going to accept. Otherwise, you're going to have to go the long way.
Rowan Marshall. The Cats come late with another pick.
They did,
Yeah.
but the Saints were adamant that he wasn't going anywhere. Ross Lyon was the key driver on this. He wants to pair De Koning with Rowan Marshall. And I reckon if Max King had a bit more footy under his belt, the Saints would have been a bit more open to it. But there are some concerns around King. So they think, well, we need Marshall. They're 5 on the bench next year. Bill, I reckon we might see 2 rucks be a bit more of the norm.
Righto. And the other one was Stephen May, of course, who
Yeah.
stayed at Melbourne.
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple others. Buku Karmas wanted to get
yeah.
from the Dogs to Carlton. He didn't get his wish. So I can't remember, yes, the Merrett one was probably always going to play out like this, but a few of those fringe players not getting their wish, that doesn't normally happen.
Well, it's been the biggest trade period in recent history. There's no doubt about that. Plenty more to get to. Plus, we'll chat Charlie Curnow. And you want to do the biggest winners and losers, Bill?
Yes, please.
Okay.
With Mitch. Who's done well? Who has done well? The club that's done the best, please, Mitch.
I reckon the Giants, they get Clarry for not much.
Yes.
He can come in and help that midfield. Brisbane get Allen and Draper for not much.
Yeah.
They get a win there. As for the losers, I reckon Collingwood haven't improved off the back of this. So they lose Myercheck. They went after Simpkin, couldn't get him. They had a phone conversation with James Rowbottom. They were sort of interested a little bit in Clayton Oliver. That didn't happen. So
Jack Buller.
yeah, he'll come in and replace Myercheck in time, but he's got a lot to prove still at the level.
Right.
The other winner that might have gone under the radar, I think, is Freo. So Judd McVie, handy player at Melbourne, goes in. I think he'll be a nice top up to the Dockers.
What about Sydney?
Yeah, good result
King
with Charlie
Charles.
Curnow. But they have, I reckon, they've sold the farm. They've given up 3 first-round picks and Will Hayward for a 29-year-old Charlie Curnow. It's a big investment for a team that didn't make the finals. I think Dean Cox and the Swans would want to make the finals next year to make this worthwhile. Otherwise, they're giving up some pretty early picks for Charles.
You have to make finals. So I think, reading between the lines, they go from a grand final to missing. Obviously, a lot of injuries. They got it going late. They still think, and with the list they've got, that they're chips in.
Yep.
And this is going to be the difference.
How many is he going to kick?
I'll give you 60 or more.
60 or more?
Yeah.
That's good.
You're big on the lifestyle, aren't you, up there for him?
I'm big on knowing Charlie and how he operates and just how much it is for him. Football is a job, but it's also still the fun in his life.
Yeah.
And when everything else outside of it, he's just cruising along, bubbling away nicely, and you just go and play, and you do it. It doesn't matter if it's in front of 50 people at Torquay or it's in front of 50,000 at the SCG. I feel he'll just flourish up there, and I hope so, because we still haven't seen the best of him.
Well said.
Thank you.
Couple of interesting ones. Jack Steele, the captain of St Kilda.
So he was captain. They brought him in for a meeting, Bill, and said, all right, we think it's time for you to go. He said, no, I want to stay here because I think the good times are about to roll, and I've done the hard times at the Saints. I want to stick around. He handed over the captaincy. I think that'll formally go to Cal Wilkie in the next 6 months. And then Steele even had to be convinced in the last 24 hours of trade period to go to Melbourne. They trade him for a 2027 third-round pick. And with Tassie coming in that draft, that'll be a pick in the 50s or 60s for Jack Steele. Plus St Kilda are paying some of his wage to join the Demons. So the Demons lose out of the Oliver transaction. I think we can all acknowledge that. But they get Jack Steele, who's a 2-time All-Australian, for not much. Plus the Demons also get 3 first-rounders for Christian Matraka. Yes, they send 3 second-rounders back, but 3 first-rounders for Stephen King is pretty good freight, I think, for a new coach coming in.
They're 7 and 8.
And Handy, did he just try and be cool? He tried to do the 6-7,
Well,
but close enough.
At the start of the trade period, it was 6 and 7. Then it got pushed back.
There you go. But we were talking about this the other day, how young that Melbourne midfield were. We missed Jack Viney.
We did.
But also now Jack Steele, so he's going to play an important role.
And CJ comes in off half-back. I think that'll allow Trent Rivers to play midfield. Langford, Xavier Lindsay.
It's a very young midfield. That's what
it is.
It is, but then some young stars coming in with the picks.
What about Finbar to Adelaide?
This came out of absolutely nowhere. So he wasn't going to get a new contract at North Melbourne.
He wasn't.
No, and then the Crows said, we're going to bring you in. I think this is a backup for life after Tech. So they just looked ahead to what the next 12, 18 months look like after Tex. And then your man, Geelong, Bill.
Patrick
Reshko.
Yeah, well done. Pick 99 the Cats got.
So again, he had been offered no contract at the Cats, and the Tigers said, well, we like you, we may as well do it now. They could have picked him up after the trade period, but they thought we'll bring you in and show you some love now.
He runs very well, that's all I know. Jamarra, we like this one 2 days, don't we?
Pick 74 for a guy. Don't forget, 12 months ago, clubs were throwing $1.5 million a season contracts at this guy.
Yeah.
He decided to stay at the Dogs on a 2-year deal. We know he's had a lot of challenges this year. Importantly for the Dogs, the money's off their books. So he was owed about $850 for next year. He'll earn less than a quarter of that on his initial contract at the Suns. But if he plays, there's triggers to earn more than that. But it's only a 1-year deal at Gold Coast.
Is this Damien Hardwick's legacy piece at the Suns?
And where's he going to live, Jamarra?
I think with Jared Harbrow, the Indigenous manager at the Suns.
But Dimmy, if you go back to the early days of Richmond, when Dusty was sort of a little bit of a scallywag, hanging around with Swanee and enjoying the outside fruits of football, having himself a good time, Dimmy was the one that said, no, that friendship, that relationship, him and Trent Cotchin, we all saw what happened there. If this happens again, and this is part of a premiership winning team, a winning move, there you go.
It was over at the Dogs. The relationships had all evaporated there. There was no going back. And
Are they filthy as to how, so they've given up, it's a number one draft pick, they've invested time, and now they've just had to go, well.
I think for the Dogs side of things, they've done everything they could to support Jamarra this year, and they were just at their wits' end. Their money's off the books, which if you're the Dogs, Bailey Smith goes, McRae goes, Caleb Daniel goes, now Jamarra. They've got a little bit of salary cap room in the next 12 months to go after Zach Butters, who's from Darley Bill. Grew up a Dog supporter.
Yes.
Idolises Marcus Bontempelli.
Does he?
So that's the big fish they're after.
Did you find all this out when you were jumping out behind his tee shot?
No, he wouldn't have done that.
No. I think Zach Butters will be the hottest commodity in footy. Like, you're talking Nazai, Wanganeen, Miller money, and maybe even add some next year for how much in demand this guy's going to be.
Port Adelaide, have they done anything?
What did they do? So they brought in Will Brodie.
Their draft picks, pick 49 and 85 is what they've got to play with.
Because they gave them up this year's draft last year for Jack Lukosius. They don't rate this year's draft, Port. Important one for them.
I'd be saying that if I had picked 49 and 85 too.
Exactly.
If you're West Coast, you're saying this is the best draft in years.
But there's an important decision for them. Dougie Cochran is seen as the best kid in the draft next year. They're waiting for the AFL to tick off the approval for him to join under the Next Generation Academy. Right. He could be generational for that footy club. So watch this space on that one.
That is comprehensive. Look at our boy.
I know.
Where are you off to?
Anything else?
You need a holiday.
Give us something.
Hamilton Island. I watched your golf show, Daisy, and I thought I need to get up there and check it out.
What are you going to do up there? Do you
relax
in the G-banger, walking along the streets?
I saw you in Germany, Bill, those years ago. I thought, never for me.
It's warmer up there.
Are you going to take Mum up?
No, just Kate and I heading up.
Oh.
One last little, what do they call it, a baby moon before?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, baby moon. That's what happens. That's what you do before the baby comes.
Confusing me.
You've been a star. You've kept us up to date, informed, not only on the box, but coming in here as well.
Star.
Go and have yourself a time in Hamilton Island, mate. You're the best.
Thanks for having me. I'll listen to the podcast.
Yeah, do that.
Channel
Good
7
luck in the
Chief
baby moon.
Footy reporter Mitch Cleary. You can see all the latest footy news from 6 p.m. on Channel 7 tonight. It's the Rush Hour. Triple M.